Everywhere I see these days, there are, and it's been a decade. I've been listening to news, rape news, molestation news, uh, molestations within families, right? Sexual inappropriate behaviors. Everything is just going on. Uh, but we fail to understand the root cause of all this. How can I give you solutions for your failed marriages, unhappy relationships, children not conducting themselves with dignity? Till we don't understand the root cause of it, till we don't go to the root of the problem, we cannot fix the problem. Society's disintegration in today's time and age is primarily because this one aspect was hugely neglected, and that is karma. Sambhog, what does that mean? That's a beautiful word for sexual union, or a union of two people or two bodies, two souls, you can say, two hearts, sexual intimacy, physical intimacy. But how have we handled it? Let's go back and take a little review. It's very important to introspect if we want to change and heal. We have to understand the distortions that have happened in society. First distortion that has happened is our cultural distortion. We say with so much pride that I'm an Indian, I'm a Bharatiya, I'm a Sanatani. Do you even know what that means? Where did you get your sanskars from? What is the definition of true Bharatiya Sabhyata? Or any Sabhyata that you're from? Let's say, whichever culture you come from. I'm very clear about it, that it's not God-made. Because if you really look at it, society has changed and evolved from cavemen to today. How we dress, what we wear, why we wear it, everything has gone through immense transformation and continuously changes with time. So where is the definition of being cultured coming from? Of what is appropriate and inappropriate sexually? Whether we talk about virginity, forcing virginity on girls, chastity, brahmacharya, all these concepts are loosely thrown around by parents, by society. And we think this is our culture. But have we done enough research, gone back in the past, studied our texts? What is the foundation of our society? I'm going to talk about the Indian context because I am born and raised in India. We had 4 pillars: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The 4 pillars, one is kama, which means desire. Desire. It's a very important aspect of life. Whether any kind of desire. In today's topic, we're going to talk about physical desire. Then how can desire be bad if the Hindus have dedicated one entire section of their civilization to that? How can it be bad? Culture, as per the Indian context, is very, very distorted. Why? Because we don't know what our real culture is. We had so many invasions that we've forgotten what real Bharat is. The Mughals came, they brought in their culture. The Parsis came, they brought in their culture. The English came, they brought in their culture. Portuguese came, they brought in their culture. What is the Indian culture? Define it. Which perspective are you defining it from? Where did these values come around in your families that parents and grandparents are so coolly throwing around on the young kids? Where did these values come? Cover your head, wear proper clothes. Clothes, big part of any culture, right? How we dress. But isn't that deeply conditioned? That anybody that wears short clothes, we've attached it to their character. Your clothes are now defining your character, whereas clothes were just meant to protect you from the cold, protect you from the heat, protect you from forces of nature, keep you comfortable. It's your second skin. God didn't design clothes. God created all of us to be naked. We were all born naked. Where did the perversion set in? When did we start connecting clothes with anybody's character? Why nudity has become so uncomfortable in today's time and age? If you look at tribals, they're all roaming around naked. But I don't know what the rape count is in tribal communities. Why are little girls being raped? Little babies being raped? Why are old women being raped? This perversion that has set into society is a big result of sexual repression and lack of sexual awareness. Right from the time the children are small, we shame them, we guilt them into experiencing the very fundamental of life, which is their sexuality. They're shamed for even touching the private parts as kids. Oh, shame, shame, no. We start creating that in the child. That if the child is touching its private parts, it's something very derogatory. We don't educate little girls, little boys properly. We don't set the right examples. We have no context. Schools are teaching sexual education using bananas and condoms. Is that artistic? Is that what our Sanskriti was about? What about the Kama Sutra? It was supposed to be taught around teenage, when the child is transitioning from and hitting puberty and transitioning into an adult, when sexual transformation is happening in the body. That's the time to empower them about their own sexual energy, empower them with their self-esteem, self-image, so that they can conduct this aspect of life gracefully. But what do? We shame them. We don't have those beautiful conversations with them about their puberty, about their sexual desire. They have to hide. They have to rely on things like porn. Because families cannot have these conversations. Because somewhere I don't think we've progressed, we've regressed. And why? What are these cultural distortions? So it's a time to introspect. Because just saying that your child is masturbating, or your child has needs, or they're starting too young, or they're becoming sexually active very early. Why? It's because the subject is not handled well. Not by adults, not by society. Culture is a big question mark right now. Second, religious distortions. Look at the context in which religion has shaped up. Instead of liberating a human, it is all about dogmatic beliefs and creating fear, where we've linked brahmacharya and virginity with purity of a human being. That is the most senseless and ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. That if you lose your virginity, you're not pure anymore. There's shame around that. Brahmacharya is not understood properly, is misunderstood. An ascetic monkhood is sold in the name of religion, like the whole world should become a monk. And a teenager should be put through that. So that the repression goes so deep in that consciousness that the human being is fighting their sexual desire. The whole life is all about that. And this is what I see in all these spiritual people that are so confused about sex. When I tell people to meditate, what's the biggest question that comes to me? Ma'am, can we have sex and can we do a meditation? I'm shocked at this question. Adults ask these questions. But ma'am, what is having sex bad? Are we serious? Is this a sign of a progressive society? That we are going to link meditativeness with sex? This shows where religion has gone wrong. Majorly gone wrong. Instead of empowering young children with tools, we have created fear and ignorance around this subject. And these boys and girls either become very, very violent in their sexual expression. This is why I see, especially in countries all over the world, eve teasing, butt pinching, inappropriate behavior around in families. Uncles come and molest little girls. Boys are touched inappropriately. It's not just limited to girls. Then in their personal intimate relationships, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, they cannot please their partner. Marriages are breaking because partners are not trained in conducting sexual activity well. Big reasons why marriages fail. Forceful sexual encounters. Partners force these kind of absurd role play and all this that, is very uncomfortable sometimes for other people. But these are all subjects that are not talked about. Somebody being bisexual, heterosexual, homosexual. We cannot have these conversations. So that person is going to go hide. And then the repression leads to aggression, leads to distortion, perversion. But we're okay with that. We'll keep printing rapes and molestation and divorce rates in newspapers. But we will not create an educational institute on Kama Sutra. I seriously wish there was a school that I could go to when I was growing up that educated me about my body in a more artistic manner. That I didn't have to get my second grade information from friends who knew nothing, from people around me that were not as graceful and artistic about it. And sexuality just becomes a big question mark that you're battling with your whole life. It's affecting your whole life because you're thinking about it. Half the time is going and thinking about sex. And not knowing what is right and what is wrong, what to tolerate, what not to tolerate, what to speak up against and what to be quiet on, how to conduct your needs gracefully. Why are these subjects not taught with that level of consciousness and awareness? So Sambhoga is my initiative, a little step that I've taken in this direction for everybody who wants to go deep, who wants to understand, wants to heal, wants to unlearn all the crap that has been sold to you in the name of sexual intimacy, physical intimacy. Because there's still time, so that we can build a more beautiful, a healthier, more artistic, more creative society. We can change, provided we're really ready to do the work. And for that, this is a step.